Exodus 1, aka Indigo Sky, aka y'all know what it is. Trigger ranking, man. About to do a live. I gotta go to work tomorrow and Sunday, so I'll probably try to do the live a little earlier. Well, I'm doing the live a little earlier tonight because I gotta work 12 hours tomorrow, boy. Whew. But anyway, man, y'all coming in. Y'all let me know where y'all coming in from. City, state, providence, country, whatever is clever. Y'all already know what we about to do. We about to get new nuclear and we about to react. So let's get it going, y'all. Um, we checking out Panda Press first. Y'all know this is one of our favorite channels to react to. Panda Press. Um, the thumbnail says he's cooked. Picture of Jay-Z, and it says the real reason Jay-Z's empire keeps catching strays. So let's see what this is about. See if we can get see if we can get this show on the road, y'all. I might be on here an hour, 2 hours, and then I'm about to get up off here. I gotta go to get some rest for tomorrow, man. What the hell is going on? Trying to figure out what's going on my YouTube. Oh, okay, cool.
Hi, I'm Carolyn Forte, Executive Director.
Got a little bit of technical difficulties, y'all.
You ever notice how Jay-Z keep catching strays every few weeks? One day it's lawsuits, next day it's old clips resurfacing, then it's Desiree back in court again. Like, why all this smoke at once?
Why? 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 Why?
Yeah, I don't even know. Like, I can't even tell you that. Like,
See, the internet keep treating it like random drama, but nah, this feel calculated. From Diddy's fall, LVMH stepping back, to that $110 million copyright hit, there's a whole chain reaction going on that nobody's talking about.
A
So
$110 million copyright hit. I ain't heard about that one yet.
we gonna dig deep, not just into the lawsuits, but the why. Why Jay's empire keep catching bullets from every angle, and who's actually loading the gun. Let's talk about it. So first off, this new lawsuit, wow. A dude named Royale Sharif K. Bush, stage named Royal, just sued Rock Nation, Atlantic Records, and Lil Uzi Vert for 110 million. Yeah, million. Apparently he dropped a song called Pain and Pleasure in August 2022. Then a month later, Uzi drops Just Wanna Rock. Same bounce, same hook, same vibe.
You don't find that suspicious?
I ain't gonna lie, that just rock song, that motherfucker. I ain't really like it like that, but that shit was playing. Boy, they were playing every time you cut the radio on. They were playing that shit. So 110 million, that might be about the right number. Cause I ain't gonna lie, but they were playing that shit everywhere.
Now Royal's like, hey yo, that's mine. He got musicologists saying the songs matched 93 to 97%, and the man came with receipts. He ain't just yelling they stole my flow. Nah, he broke down his losses like a Wall Street accountant.
Today your ass is gonna die, bitch. Say goodnight, motherfucker.
8 million from streams, 12 million from sync deals, 25 million from brand endorsements, liquor, fashion, auto, then 25 million for reputation harm, and 40 million for future losses. Bruh even threw in AI catalog exploitation. That's how modern this beef is. And look, Normally I clown a dude asking for 9 figures, but when you realize Just Wanna Rock got blasted in Fortnite, TikTok, NFL halftime
Telling y'all,
shows,
but that
Grammys,
song,
that's global exposure. So if your idea got copied and then used everywhere, 100 million don't sound that crazy. Plus, Royal had already sent his music to Atlantic before Uzi's release, meaning they heard it. That's what lawyers call access. Combine that with substantial similarity, that's when the judge stopped smiling and started reading. And remember, Rock Nation represents Uzi, so even if Hov ain't touched the beat, his company's in the crossfire. It's like you minding your business, then your little cousin snatch a candy bar and the store owner come after you. So yeah, the empire just caught another stray, and this time it got paperwork behind it. See, this ain't just one lawsuit. Rock Nation's been fighting more cases than a UFC card. You got the Busby situation where Jay tried to swing back and lost every round. The Desiree Perez heat, her charges moving forward next year, and Ramirez's paternity case lurking in the background. Add all that up, plus lawyer fees from Quinn Emanuel, and you see why people whispering that Rock Nation bleeding cash. I ain't saying they broke. Nah, Jay's too strategic for that. But even billionaires hate losing money, especially when it's going to lawyers instead of yachts. And here's the catch. Even when you win in court, you lose time, focus, and brand heat. Sponsors start ghosting, deals freeze, artists get nervous. It's a slow bleed. That's why you see them doing weird collabs overseas or pushing products that feel random. They trying to refill the tank. But when that many lawsuits hit the same company, same year, same leadership, it stops looking like bad luck and starts looking like karma on a schedule. So yeah, they still rich, but if this pace keeps up, they gonna need a GoFundMe before the Grammys. Let's be real, bro. None of this chaos started by accident. Everything changed the minute Diddy got arrested in 2024. The feds ain't just cuffed one man. They shook the whole food chain. Executives, investors, brand partners, everybody started looking around like, wait, who else was close to him? And who's been Diddy's dinner table buddy for 2 decades? Jay-Z. They was running the same brunch circle, same private jets, same power circle. So when Diddy fell, every ally he had started feeling the tremor. That's the domino effect. Not just guilt by association, it's risk by association. When the first mogul goes down, the others get audited. Banks start calling, sponsors hit pause, the press starts digging. It ain't about guilt, it's about proximity. And trust me, these big execs in Europe, Asia, the Middle East, they ain't playing with scandal. You 1 degree from a predator case, they pulling funding faster than Spotify removes a diss track. That's why you see Jay popping up in quiet Middle East deals, Kushner projects, new business fronts. Man's trying to move his money out of the storm cloud. But no matter how high you climb, when one domino falls, the vibration gonna reach your table too. So when people ask why Jay-Z catching strays, it's cause the industry's cleaning house and the universe moving in slow motion, collecting dues. You don't always need bullets. Sometimes reputation do the shooting. Now here's where it gets deja vu. Remember Bad Boy Records? Contracts nobody could read, artists vanishing, hits recycled like old mixtapes. That whole era of shiny suits and shady paperwork. Tell me this don't sound familiar. You got lawsuits from artists saying Rock Nation stole sound, stole credit, underpaid talent. Bruh, the parallels are uncanny. Different decade, same hustle. The only difference is the lighting's better. And think about it, both labels started with the same formula. Get the streets on your side, get the business suits to believe in you, and then start owning the pipelines. But when you own too much, you attract the same thing every empire attracts. Rebellion from the bottom, lawsuits from the middle, and investigations from the top. Back in the day, Diddy was stealing beats right out of studios. Now it's AI catalogs, publishing splits, and sync rights. The game changed, but the greed stayed fluent. That's why people call Rock Nation Bad Boy 2.0. Not out of hate, but out of pattern recognition. Every label that grows too powerful starts eating its own until the artists start biting back. And bruh, the lawsuit stacking now, that's the sound of history repeating itself, just with better lawyers and cleaner fonts. All right, let's talk ego for a second, because that's where the internet really lost its mind. A clip just resurfaced. Jay-Z on Twitter back in 2021 talking big. No disrespect. No one can stand on that stage with me.
You are unattractive, overweight, unworthy, untalented.
Bruh, nobody? You mean Drake, Wayne, Kendrick, not even Nas? I get it, Hov's a legend, but that clip sound different now when you play it next to all these lawsuits, right? Back then it was the godfather of rap. Now it's giving CEO under pressure. And here's the wild part. Fans started doing versus fantasy battles online like, okay, if Drake dropped headlines, what Jay playing? Lil Wayne go a milli, what Jay got? And half the comments was like, wait, name 5 Jay songs without features. See it expose something. Jay's catalog is elite, but his ego marketing might be his biggest hit of all. Hov's always been a quiet power type. He don't yell like Diddy, he don't melt down like Ye, but make no mistake, he got the same ego energy just in a tux. He just learned how to hide it behind business meetings and Basquiat paintings. But when old clips pop up while the court cases stack up, that confidence don't sound legendary anymore. It sound ironic. The same bar that once sounded like a flex now sound like foreshadowing. See, the thing about ego is currency in music, but it's a liability in court. You can't swagger past the subpoena, bruh. Judges don't care how many platinum plaques you got. You walk in there talking, I'm untouchable, they gonna touch everything you own. That's what's happening now. That old Hov bravado is being flipped against him. The media running side by sides of his quotes next to docket files. Every soundbite becomes an exhibit. Every flex turns into evidence of arrogance. That's how they dismantle power. Not with handcuffs, but headlines. And this is bigger than Jay. It's how America humbles every black mogul who reaches the top. They let you build, let you brag, then they hit replay on your own words when it's time to knock you down. And the wild part, they don't even need to fabricate nothing. You already said enough on camera. So when people ask, why Jay-Z's empire keep catching strays? It's partly because his empire been built on ego energy. Once the ego cracks, the brand follows.
It's crazy because it's a lot of artists that have passed away. I would love that to see how they would be today. Like, I wonder what Michael Jackson would be doing right now if he was still alive. Tupac, Biggie, Big L. I truly wonder like how they would be at this age, bro. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's just something to, ponder and think about. It's not gonna happen, but just, I wish we could, see how they aged and all this other stuff. Like,
in hip hop, confidence sells. In corporate America, confidence is evidence. All right, let's follow the money, because it always tells the real story. Every empire that looks under attack usually just loses control of the cash flow. And bruh, Rock Nation's flow looking shaky right now. All these lawsuits, they don't just drain bank accounts. They freeze partnerships, delay deals, make sponsors nervous. Nobody want to collab with a label that's showing up in court more than in the charts. We already seen it. LVMH slowing down their Rihanna ties, brands whispering about distance, and investors doing quiet check-ins to see how deep the legal smoke is. You don't need to lose the case to lose the confidence. Once money stops moving, people start panicking. And Jay know that. That's why you see sudden global business headlines pop up. Middle East projects, equity talks, secret investments. Translation, let me stash the bag somewhere the lawsuits can't touch. But here's the bigger picture. When the system feels you built something too independent, too black, too powerful, they don't shut you down overnight. They slow you down with paperwork, lawyer by lawyer, case by case, week by week. It's not cancel culture. It's corporate constriction. They suffocate you with compliance. They turn your account.
Okay, so I don't know whoever in here. I just want to let you know that they're not cutting food stamps off.
Accountants into informants, and your friends into consultants. That's what Jay fighting right now. Not haters, but high level hesitation. The empire's still standing, but the money, it ain't sprinting like it used to. And when the money slows down, the wolves start circling.
Thank you for
You
hitting the
can
like button
always
too.
tell when
Appreciate you.
streets smell blood, even if it's billionaire blood. Now here's where things get deep, the part most people miss. What if this whole wave of mogul meltdowns ain't random? What if it's ritual cleansing, industry stuff?
Damn,
Every
son.
few years, Hollywood and the music world go through what I call a power purge. They pick a few kings, tear them down in public, then reset the throne for the next generation they can control. It ain't about balance. When one gets too powerful, the gatekeepers remind them who really own the gate. You think Diddy, Kanye, Jay-Z all falling around the same time is coincidence? Nah, that's choreography. Different charges, different scandals, but the timing always hit the same rhythm. They don't hang you from trees no more. They hang you on timelines. They drag your name till the brand value drops. Then the same machine that crowns you sells your downfall as content.
That's how they did R. Kelly. That's how they did P. Diddy. Like when Diddy get out of jail, bro, ain't no brands gonna deal with him, bro.
And that's why you keep seeing these new faces pop up. Younger artists, cleaner image, safer energy. The industry constantly resets, replacing rebels with robots. It's the oldest trick in capitalism. Destroy the icons before they get too independent. So when folks say Jay-Z catching strays, I see it different. He's a warning shot, a reminder to every future mogul what happens when you get too big to manage. That's the real reason behind lawsuits, the leaks, the sudden distance from allies. This ain't karma, it's a cleanse. The question is, who's next on the list? So, what can Jay really do now? He's at that part of the movie where every move matters. One wrong deal, one wrong quote, one wrong exclusive interview, and it could snowball fast. First option, settle quietly. Pay the people, take the L, and disappear for 6 months. That's the industry detox. You don't fix the truth, you just fade till folks forget. Second option, restructure Rock Nation. Cut ties, clean house, bring in new management, make it look like reform. Translation, same game, new jerseys. He's done it before. Remember when Def Jam started looking dusty? He jumped ship, flipped the narrative, came back richer. Third option, go rogue, go independent again. Shift to legacy building, books, documentaries, ownership plays. But that move comes with risk. Less protection, more exposure. When you're not under the system's wing, you're flying solo. And that's when the hawks come out. I think the smartest thing Hove can do right now, lay low, clean up optics, and move with silence. No interviews, no flexes, no brunch photos. Just make chess moves, quiet ones. Because the next misstep, it won't just be another lawsuit. It might be legacy damage. We've seen this movie before. Kanye, Diddy, Tory, even Will Smith. The higher the climb, the steeper the karma. And if Jay wanna survive the purge, he gonna have to evolve again. You know what this whole story really show, bruh? It don't matter how many billions you stack. You can't outrun what you ain't ready to face inside. Jay spent decades building the perfect empire. Clean suits, art galleries, reform speeches, but even the cleanest glass house crack under pressure. And lately, them cracks loud as hell. Maybe that's the point though. Maybe every empire gotta break a little. So the man behind it remember he human again.
Man, from death row to, it's a lot, bro. It's a lot of empires that fell. Death row was worth, back in the day, death row was worth 300 million. That kind of money right there was like damn near unheard of. $300 million in the 90s.
Cause at the end of the day, the goal ain't just to win court cases or drop hits. It's to stay real enough that when the world come for you, truth still protects you. So whether you love Jay-Z, hate him, or just watching from the sidelines, understand this: power ain't bad, but power without soul, that's just a slow death with a penthouse view. All right, that's enough truth for one night. Now I want to hear.
Appreciate Panda Press, man. Panda be dropping them jewels, dog. Like, I wonder who the Panda really is, bro. Cause bro got the big dog. He got that gift, man. Damn, so this one right here was 11 minutes ago. We gonna do this one. Ah, man, they talking about 195 NBA stars arrested? No. That's damn near the whole league.
If you have a crack like this, well, you have a problem. Today I'm learning how a cracked wall...
I know everybody that's at play. And I don't like to sit up here and be hypocritical about certain things.
On October 23rd, the basketball world woke up straight up stunned. The headlines hit like a punch to the gut. Chauncey Billups, the man they called Mr. Big Shot, was allegedly caught up in a mafia-linked gambling scandal. When reporters asked Shaq about it, his reaction said everything. That look, it meant one thing. He knew something was up. And in this video, I'm about to show you exclusive footage of NBA players literally begging Chauncey not to leak their names. The league had never seen anything like it. A wave of panic, disbelief, and pure chaos spreading faster than a breaking news alert on Twitter. October 23rd, 2025, that date's now burned into NBA history as one of its darkest days ever.
Good morning. Today we are here in New York to announce a historic arrest across a wide-sweeping criminal enterprise that envelops both the NBA and La Casa Nostra. The men and women up here standing with me represent a...
Man, do y'all know what the fuck La Cosa Nostra is, my nigga? Y'all go add Chat GPT what La Cosa Nostra is.
Come on now, dog. Come on, man.
Come on now.
small portion of the leadership team that brought profound justice in an era that needed it more than any.
Fans were gearing up for a brand new season, ready for tip-off celebrations and highlight reels. But instead, the league was rocked by something that felt straight out of a crime thriller. While players were lacing up and arenas were prepping lights, federal agents were already in motion, moving quietly behind the scenes for what would soon become one of the most explosive takedowns in sports history. This wasn't some minor scandal about reckless spending or a locker room dispute. No, this was calculated, deep.
We are reacting to Star Snitch. It's all together. Star
A sinister
Snitch
web that
together.
stretched way beyond basketball. News outlets went wild. Every sports station, every podcast, every major media platform in America had one name trending, Chauncey Billups, and right next to him, Terry Rozier of the Miami Heat. Both men had been arrested by the FBI, and this wasn't just your average arrest. It was the result of a massive federal sting operation that had been running for years. The scale of it, unreal. The evidence, mountains of it, and the people involved, the kind of names you never expect to see on a federal indictment list. When FBI Director Kash Patel took the podium standing shoulder to shoulder with top officials from Homeland Security, the NYPD, the U.S. Attorney's Office, and even the Waterfront Commission out
For this case, which is very much ongoing. Not only did we crack into the fraud that these perpetrators committed on the grand stage of the NBA, but we also entered and executed a system of justice against La Casa Nostra to include the Bonanno, Gambino, Genovese, Lucchese crime families.
The FBI director doesn't just show up for anything. The room went silent as Patel spoke, breaking down how this investigation uncovered not one, but two sprawling criminal empires, both entangled in the world of professional basketball. The scope of what they revealed sent chills down everyone's spine. The first case, known as Operation Nothing But Bet, targeted insider sports betting within the NBA.
Nothing
And the
but
fraud
net. Not
is
nothing but
mind-boggling.
net, but
It's
nothing
not
but
hundreds of
bet.
dollars. It's not thousands of dollars. It's not tens of thousands of dollars.
So I don't know if y'all know, they be having like little names that they like uh when the feds got you in their scope, they have like a name for the operation. Like Big U, his nickname is Draws, and the name for that operation was uh Operation Drawdown. Um what's his name? Young Dolph. I mean, yeah, Young Dolph. When he got killed, when they was doing the whole little name they had for that one is Operation Cookie Monster. You know what I'm saying? They was doing stuff like that. Like, so it's like they have a little name, but this shit said nothing but bets. Not nothing but net.
It's not even millions of dollars. We're talking about tens of millions of dollars in fraud and theft and robbery across a multi-year investigation.
This wasn't rumor or speculation, though. This was solid evidence that players and even coaches had been leaking inside info about injuries, game strategies, and player availability to illegal betting groups. Those groups would then drop massive bets on sure thing props, walking away with fortunes while everyone else was left clueless. This one ran deep into the criminal underworld, involving four of America's most notorious mafia families, the Bonanno, Gambino, Genovese, and Lucchese families. These
I done
weren't
heard
random
of the Genovese, bro. Do y'all know who the fucking Genovese?
Come on now, dog.
Bro.
Sophisticated teams ever discovered.
I co-star, no-star, the Genovese. On, bro.
Mafia business.
The New York area were backed by the Bonanno and Genovese crime families of La Casa Nostra.
Come
More
on,
than 30
co-star,
people were
no-star,
arrested across
nigga.
11
What?
states. Fraud and money laundering to extortion and armed robbery. And at the center of it all, Chauncey Billups and Creek, the man who once NBA All-Star, 2004 Finals MVP.
Oh, I think he might got a chip. I think he got a chip. I think he got a fucking chip.
I know everybody that's up here and be hypocritical about certain things.
A Detroit Pistons legend, and just like to see him go from raising trophies to raising his hands for handcuffs was something no fan ever imagined. The man who'd spent his career teaching discipline, leadership, and teamwork was now facing accusations of betrayal, corruption, and deception. How does someone who's climbed to the top of the basketball world, someone who achieved everything there is to achieve, end up in federal with the mob? How does Mr. Big Shot become the league had seen scandals before, but nothing, absolutely nothing. Wow, a guy like this.
We all know the rules, we all know the letter of the law, and it's just unfortunate.
Terry Rozier was only 31, right in the prime of his career, balling out for the Miami Heat on a massive 4-year deal worth over $96 million. He had money, fame, and respect, everything a player could dream of. But according to federal that away for what they call pocket change. Scratch the surface of his
So they said this nigga threw away a $93 million contract for pocket change. Pocket change?
Didn't make sense, but when you see how deep it went, it starts to sound like something straight out of a crime documentary. Rozier were wild and detailed. Court documents claim he wasn't just some bystander. He was allegedly texting people in his circle.
The reason I'm mad at Kenny is, man, this ain't got nothing to do with damn gambling. These dudes are stupid. Why are they stupid? You on a no circumstance.
He was telling associates that he'd fake injuries mid-game just to money on under props. That's not just risky, that's self-sabotage. One of the craziest which fans still talk about was the March 23rd, 2023 matchup between the Charlotte Hornets Rozier allegedly texted his childhood friend Laster, saying he planned to pull himself out of the game early with a fake shoulder injury, and like clockwork, he checked out just 9 minutes and 30 sabotage. One of the craziest examples, which fans still talk about, was a March 23rd, 2023 matchup between the Charlotte Hornets and the New Orleans Pelicans. Before tip-off, Rozier allegedly texted his childhood friend Deniro Laster, saying he planned to pull himself out of the game early with a fake shoulder injury, and like clockwork, he checked out just 9 minutes and 34 seconds in barely one full quarter. The betting crew, already tipped off, dropped more than $200,000 on under bets for Rozier.
They dropped $200,000 on the under bet. And he already texted him like, look, I'm fixing to fake it.
Rebounds and assists. Off the floor, those bets hit like collecting payouts so large they had to count them by hand. And according to prosecutors, the profits were literally brought straight to Rozier's home, where they split the money in cash. The whole setup sounded insane, but then things got even darker. After the arrest, social media went absolutely off the rails. Claims started flooding every platform. People saying there was leaked footage of NBA stars begging Chauncey Billups not to expose their names. Fans ran wild with the story, sharing memes, making fake screenshots, and arguing nonstop about. Others said the league was covering it up, but here's the truth. There's zero real evidence that any of that footage exists. No leaked videos, no hidden legitimate at all. Just a storm of rumors fed by pure shock and imagination. Reporters dug through every piece of official evidence, federal indictments, news articles, legal filings, and came up empty. Shows players begging anyone for mercy. It was internet chaos at its peak. While left by fear and confusion, people behind the scenes are
trying to fight. What? Bruh, this is one for you.
Congratulations, you played yourself.
I don't know what you talking about, bro. I'm damn near 50 years old, bro. Ain't nobody fighting no fucking body.
It was built to look clean, but underneath it was a web of deception that connected gamblers, insiders, and crime families. Federal prosecutors said they'd used NBA stars as face cards, famous names meant to lure the rich and powerful into what they thought were friendly poker nights. But those poker tables were rigged from the start. And the numbers, they're jaw-dropping. According to indictments unsealed on October 23rd, the poker ring alone scammed victims out of at least $715 million. Though investigators believe the truth.
Hold on.
According to indictments unsealed on October 23rd, the poker ring alone scammed victims out of at least $715 million. Though
$750 million fucking dollars, my nigga.
Damn, son.
That's crazy, bro. What? Hold on, bro. I'm in the wrong business, bro. I'm in the wrong fucking business, bro. These niggas scammed for damn near $1 billion, bro. They scammed for 1/3 of $1 billion, bro. Bro, we gotta run that back one more time, my nigga.
Connected gamblers, insiders, and crime families. Federal prosecutors said they'd used NBA stars as face cards, famous names meant to lure the rich and powerful into what they thought were friendly poker nights. But those poker tables were rigged from the start. And the numbers, they're jaw-dropping. According to indictments unsealed on October 23rd, the poker ring alone scammed victims out of at least $715 million.
$750 million.
Investigators believe the true total.
They said they believe that the total is high at $750
million in a single night. Money gone forever in a game that was never happening in dark basements with cigarette smoke and cheap whiskey. These were elite setups in luxury locations, think penthouses in Manhattan, villas in the Hamptons, private suites in Las Vegas and Miami.
Look, all them places they was doing these, bro, they finna take them folks shit, bro. That's just like, if I get caught with 100 pounds of dope in my house, bro, gonna take my house, bro. Yeah, you don't get to keep knowing you fucking with
celebrity friends. convinced they were playing fair games based on
I'm
a
getting
setup
technical
designed to drain them dry.
difficulties, y'all.
The deal paid off, the cards swapped, even the drinks were allegedly comped to keep players distracted. Look, the more sophisticated the entire setup appeared. This wasn't your average hustle. It was a digital age crime network dressed in luxury, powered by data, encrypted chats, insider influence. Every role was carefully chosen cheat op fiction. It was real people, real money, and real power being explored about something out of a spy movie, but this was real life, and the FBI had receipts to prove it. When agents raided the poker locations, they didn't just find chips and cash. It showed they found hardware, custom modified Deckmate 2 shuffling machines, the same ones used machines. Every time the dealer hit shuffle,
The whole gambling ring.
And the FBI had receipts to prove it. When agents raided the poker locations, they didn't just find chips and cash. It showed they found hardware, custom modified Deckmate 2 shuffling machines, the same ones used in legitimate casinos, but these had been secretly altered by tech experts who turned them into precision cheating devices. These machines weren't just shuffling cards or cheating, they were scanning them. Hidden cameras and wireless transmitters were built right into the machines. Every time the dealer hit shuffle, the device would read the order of the entire deck using RFID chips or high-grade barcode scanners. That data was instantly transmitted live to a remote operator, the so-called quarterback, sitting somewhere off-site, sometimes just a few rooms away, other times in a completely different building. That person could see every single card that every player gestures. It was high. These tables were equipped with special computers wearing high-tech glasses or operating hidden through the cards. Imagine sitting every single person across from you already knows what's in your hand.
Damn, that's cold. That's cold. I mean, hey, it's smart, but it ain't fair, bro. Damn, that so the way they got their money, that shit don't even. You ain't got like, bro. You ain't got like in the hood. They run down on the they know.
When the other guy already knows your every move to perfection. The crew special contact lenses. These markings were invisible to the naked eye, but clear as day to whoever had the right lenses on. Even the chip trays had hidden cameras tucked inside them, recording each card.
They said they had special contact lenses. Now you don't went too far with that. You don't went too far. Special contact lenses, man. Damn! That's crazy.
As it hit the table or got folded, and if by some wild dealers would suddenly call, posts would push for debt. These weren't just casual threats. We're talking loan intimidation. You didn't get a phone call. You got a visit. Federal documents describe multiple cases of threats, violent confrontations, and even armed robbery. One victim who refused to pay was tracked down by one of the rigged shuffling machines, where everyone sues each other and goes home. This was real organized crime, raw, in murkier territory, the sports betting side of the operation. Because while the poker scheme was horrifying, the betting basketball prosecutors revealed that between December 2022 and March 2024, at least 7 NBA games were manipulated using insider information. We're talking details about which players would sit out, who was secretly injured, and what strategies team anyone close to the team who knew the real situation before it information to the betting crew, who would then place outcomes they already knew were guaranteed to hit. And for months before the feds finally connected the dots, and once again Terry Rozier's name came up front and center.
And that basically like the feds needed to raise an eyebrow.
On March 23rd, 2023, while still playing for the Charlotte Hornets, Rozier allegedly texted Laster saying he was planning to leave the game early due to a shoulder injury, an injury that never actually happened. It wasn't bad luck, it wasn't coincidence. Prosecutors claimed it was part of the plan. Rozier would exit the game early, the syndicate would place big under bets, and once he left the floor, they'd cash out clean. This combination of high-tech poker fraud and insider NBA betting created one of the most shocking criminal cases in sports history. It wasn't just about money, it was about power, greed, and how far some people were willing to go. Prosecutors, that early exit from the game, it was pre-planned, a deliberate move to manipulate bets from the inside. Armed with this secret info,
Jordan, bro, like, he liked to gamble. He played golf and gamble and do all this other stuff, but Jordan never would have. I don't know Jordan personally. I can't call him on the phone. I'm just gonna tell you the type of person that I've watched him when he came in. I've been watching Jordan since 1984. Jordan would have never threw a game, and the way that it looks as far as the way he never would have threw a game because the way he played his heart out. So like Jordan wouldn't have never did no shit like that. But they didn't have all this kind of little slick little shit. Like all this prize picks and all these other little, you know what I'm saying, all this other shit like that, prize picks and all that. Like that's what made motherfuckers be able to make money off of this shit.
That Rozier would score less than a certain number of points, grab fewer boards, and dish out fewer assists. Then, just like clockwork, Rozier played 9 minutes and 34 seconds, scored only a handful, dissected frame by frame like it's the Zapruder film. Fans and sports analysts are replaying every angle, every grimace, every second of his body language, trying to figure out if he was genuinely hurt or just acting on cue. Was he limping for real, or was it all just part of the plan? The internet can't stop debating it. But here's where things get even more damning. The NBA had already investigated that exact game back. Flagged some weird betting patterns. The league moved on, fans forgot, and Rozier kept subpoenas and text messages. The full picture looks a whole lot different. The feds built a case that went far beyond what the NBA could ever touch, and Rozier's alleged act was just one piece of operation. Indictments detailed multiple games across the league where inside info was allegedly leaked and used to manipulate betting outcomes or availability ahead of their matchup against the Oklahoma City Thunder, and it didn't stop there. Prosecutors also exposed a mysterious unnamed Orlando Magic player accused of leaking injury information about the Cleveland Cavaliers before an April 2023 tip allegedly helped bettors on the spread after both teams unexpectedly benched their starters. Each leak was small enough to seem insignificant, but when tied together, it painted the picture of a carefully organized gambling web running straight through the NBA's inner circle. And then there's the biggest name in the whole case, co-conspirator 8. The indictment didn't say his name outright, but it described him as an Oregon resident, that the Portland Trailblazers were going to rest all their star players, Damian Lillard, Yusuf Nurkic, Jeremy Grant, and Anthony Simons, before their March 24th, 2023 game against the Chicago Bulls. And guess what? The Blazers got destroyed that night, losing by 28 points, while the betting syndicate walked away richer than ever. When those arrests dropped on October 23rd, the NBA went into full-blown crisis mode. The league immediately released a statement saying it takes all allegations seriously and that protecting the integrity of the game was their top priority. But behind the press releases and polished language, insiders said the league was panicking. Executives were calling emergency meetings, lawyers were being pulled in at midnight, and security teams were reviewing communication logs like their jobs depended on it. Both Chauncey Billups and Terry Rozier were instantly placed on indefinite leave. The Trailblazers quickly promoted Tiago Splitter as interim head coach, while the Miami Heat announced Rozier wouldn't play another game until the legal mess was resolved. These weren't routine suspensions. They were early signals that both men's careers could be finished for good, depending on how the trials unfold and what evidence gets revealed in court. The NBA's rules on gambling are some of the strictest in professional sports, and for good reason. Article 35 of the league's constitution gives the commissioner sweeping power to issue penalties for any gambling-related misconduct. That can mean fines, suspensions, or even lifetime bans, and the precedent already exists. In April 2024, Jonte Porter, a two-way player for the Toronto Raptors, was banned for life after pleading guilty to running a similar prop betting scheme.
You banned for life.
You don't have to make feet content to pay for your trip. Just use kayak.
He had deliberately underperformed in games so that his friends could cash out. And once the truth came out, the NBA showed zero mercy. If Rozier is convicted on federal charges like wire fraud conspiracy and money laundering conspiracy, it could mean the end of his entire career. He'd face a lifetime ban, lose his massive contract, and the Miami Heat would be off the hook for roughly $26.6 million in future salary. Imagine going from making $24 million a year to sitting in a courtroom facing prison time. That's a fall from grace no one could have predicted. Billup's situation, while slightly different, is no less serious. As a coach, he's technically under a separate section of the NBA's conduct policy, which means he might avoid a formal lifetime ban. But prosecutors prove his intent.
I don't know if y'all know, bro. Back in the day, they had Pete Rose. They were saying Pete Rose was doing like they banned Pete Rose from the MLB, from the Major League Baseball, and they banned him, and he'll never be able to go to the Hall of Fame because he was caught betting on games. But this right here is like way worse, bro. Like, you got people going out there underperforming to help their friends with a bet that night, instead of, like I said, Jordan went out there every night to motherfucking go out there and play, bro. Jordan was not fucking with these folks. Hey, I'm playing every fucking night, bro. Every night I could play, I'm playing. I remember when Jordan broke his foot and had to stay out. Man.
Either the poker ring or the insider betting scheme, he could still be fired immediately, blacklisted from future jobs, and effectively erased from professional basketball forever. The man who once embodied leadership and calm under pressure might never step foot on an NBA sideline again. And let's not forget the legal side. Both men face real criminal charges, federal wire fraud and money laundering. Each carry maximum sentences of up to 20 years per count. Sure, first-time offenders rarely get the max, and plea deals could bring that down. But even a few years behind bars would destroy everything they built. Prosecutors have made it clear they're not playing games. They've said this case isn't just about money, it's about protecting the integrity of professional sports. They want to send a message loud and clear. If you try to fix games, you're not. Shaq got personal fame and money, but stressed that every player knows the line, and you don't call the defendants flat out stupid for risking their legacies over what compared to their salaries. Why? He said, would someone making $26 million a year and a few prop bets? His words cut deep.
Yeah, bro, you making $24 million a year, nigga, and you out here trying to help somebody. And the way these niggas was bad, no setup going on.
The indictment is his name, but it described him as an Oregon resident, a former player from 1997 to 2014, and a current head coach since 2021, which alleged he tipped off bettors that the Portland Trailblazers were going to rest Nurkic, Jeremy Grant, and Anthony 24th, 2023 game against the Chicago Bulls. And guess what? The betting syndicate walked away richer than ever. When those arrests, they went into full-blown crisis mode. And polished language insiders said the league placed on that both men's careers could be finished for good, depending on how the trials unfold in court. The NBA's rules on gambling are some of the strictest in professional sports, and for power to issue penalties for any gambling-related misconduct. That lifetime bans, and the precedent already exists. In April 2024, Jonte Porter, a two-way player for the Toronto Raptors, was banned for life after pleading so that his friends could cash out, and once the NBA showed zero mercy. If Rozier is convicted on federal charges like wire fraud, conspiracy, and money laundering, it could mean the end of his entire career. He faced a lifetime ban, and he would be off the hook for roughly 20.
Y'all kicking with me in the Karma Cafe. Definitely hit notification bell. I'll be a dog.